future directions of the VReduMED project. This is a hybrid midterm event. That means that we are here in Győr in the Science Park building in person with some people from the partnership and some outside guests. Very welcome everyone. And also we are going online. You can follow us on YouTube and you can join us on Microsoft Teams if you would like to have comments or ask questions later after the presentations. First of all, I don't want to talk much about the project because there will be a project intro in the next presentation, but I would like to give you a short introduction of Széchenyi István University, the host institution of this event. We are in the Széchenyi István University, yes, we are in the Science Park building of the Széchenyi István University in Győr, Hungary, as I mentioned before. And in the next few minutes, I would like to shortly introduce you the university itself. We are seated in Győr, which sits in the middle of the Golden Triangle of Central Europe, as you can see. We are directly between three capital cities, Vienna, Bratislava, and our beloved capital, Budapest. And it means that you can access these three capital cities in an hour of transportation. So, which makes our city very appealing to students and businesses from abroad and from Hungary. Győr is the sixth largest city in Hungary, and it is called the City of Rivers because we are located in the confluence of three rivers. Our city is really livable and has a great natural environment, even near highly populated areas like this city center. The history of our university spans back to 1968, when our legal predecessor, the College for Transport and Telecommunication, was founded. In 2002, we achieved university status, and our strong background in engineering and technology was broadened with programs in law and governance, arts, agriculture, and also in healthcare. Since then, we constantly worked on our foreign programs, and as a result, we now offer a wide range of our study programs also in English. Here are some key facts, some numbers, some important numbers that describes our university. The university has more than 1,200 employees and more than 14,000 students. 1,000 students from them are international students from 77 countries. We have 4 doctoral schools, 9 faculties, and we offer 42 of our study programs also in English. Our university is ranked in the top 1,200 on QS World University Rankings, and in 2024 we also ranked on the DEJ World University Rankings. As I mentioned, we are sitting in the main campus in Győr, but we have teaching and research sites throughout the western part of Hungary. We have competence centers and research sites in Mosonmagyaróvár, in the capital Budapest, and also in Zalaegerszeg. And as you can see on this slide, we have 9 competence centers which are responsible to concentrate the research and innovation competences of the university and connect our talents with participants of the local and international markets. Well, our students take a big role in representing the scientific and innovative spirit of our university. We are very proud of them. And they are also a very good opportunity, or they provide a very good place for students to develop their soft skills during their study program. We have a really good connection with industrial parks, with the industry itself. The industry park here in Győr, it's a big one, with representative companies from the vehicle industry and also other technology-focused industries. And also we have strong partnership with the industrial park in Mosonmagyaróvár and also in Zalaegerszeg, where the automotive proving grounds zone is located. And finally, the place we are sitting in currently and the place of our meeting today is the Science Park building. This is the newest development of the campus in Győr, and it is also a new format of creating a bridge between universities and industry leaders and innovative SMEs. So companies can establish field offices and laboratories here in the Science Park for the mutual benefit of both parties. The company can directly access the intellectual capital of the students and staff of the university, and the university can gain access to cutting-edge technology and innovation potential of the partner companies. The cooperation between the university and the industry partners can elevate the tendency to innovate and invest in the future. Although the R&D project, the main goal, is to implement new products and services which are beneficial for the cooperating partners. So we are in the building that was made with an intention to connect the industry and our university, and to provide services and marketable solutions for the local and international markets. And a last bit of information. As I mentioned, I'm the CTO of the Digital Development Center. I don't want to talk too much about the development center itself, but it is a competence center of the university. We are mainly focused in the digitalization, 5G technology, and artificial intelligence. And it's not on this slide, but also we are very keen on trying out new and disruptive technologies like VR, AR, and MR. That's why we are in this project together. So I hope the colleagues from the Development Center will get some insights about the project today, some impressions, and maybe in the future we can bring more people from our Development Center into the project, and they can help the project be more successful. Okay, if you would like to gain more information about the university, you can check out our website. This is on the slide. Okay, so that's the very, very, very short presentation from me, from the university. And allow me to wish you a good time and a fruitful event today. And please allow me to pass the stage to Matouš, representative of GVTP, the lead partner of the VReduMED partnership. Thank you very much.
So, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, project partners, to our guests today, also our guests online. I'm Matouš Radimec. I'm from the lead partner of the VReduMED project, and I would like to tell you a few words about our project. What is it all about? I know that our project partners are probably well aware what is our project about, but still there are our guests and participants that do not know much about the project. So let me take this opportunity to present our project. Its subtitle is, or its name is the Virtual Reality Education and Training Solutions for Medicine and Caretaking sectors, probably. What does it mean? What's the goal of the project? We would actually like to improve the cooperation between medicine or health institutions, caretaking institutions, and MedTech sector. What does it actually mean? Because as you probably know from or guess from the name of the project, it revolves around the virtual reality and its use in medicine, caretaking, and caretaking sector. There are a lot of possibilities how to use it. So we would like to enrich the education of care students or healthcare students and upskilling of care practitioners, of their improving their skills. We would also like to support the introduction and adoption of MedTech assistance systems. In our case, it's the virtual reality by the care sector, and to boost the creative development in the MedTech sector. And as I said, it's all the above we will achieve by using virtual reality in this healthcare and caretaking sectors. And who we are. As you probably guessed from the project logo, it is a project implemented within the framework of Interact Central Europe program, and there are 10 partners from across Central Europe. And as you can see, they are actually quite well organized, which is very closely tied to project activity structure. There are 5 countries represented in the project, and from each country there are two partners. As you might see, there are partners from academia, universities, high schools. There are also business support organizations. It's, for example, us, the South Bohemia Science and Technology Park. We are the lead partner of the project. Then we have South Bohemian University on board. which is the academia counterpart. In Austria, we've got BizUp, or Business Upper Austria institution, which is a huge business support organization, and Education Group, which is, again, dealing with education. In Slovakia, it's basically the same. We've got a practical partner, which actually deals with the real caretaking, is the National Institute of Children's Diseases, and then again the academia partner in form of University of Economics. From Germany, it's Bavaria, so we've got strategic partnership for sensor technologies, which we abbreviate as Sensoric, and also Technische Hochschule in Regensburg. And from Hungary, as presented by Tamas, we've got the Széchenyi István University and Inoshka Business Development, which is again our business partner. In case of this specific partner, they are responsible for the communication of the project. So you can see their colleagues running around today and taking pictures, shooting videos, and so on. So that's our partnership. I would say that it is very well balanced because basically the main two sectors are present, and they provide great inputs for the project. And actually, what we would like to do and how do we achieve it? As if you are familiar with the Interact project, it's divided into 3 work packages. We won't go into details, don't worry, but they just evolve one from another. So in the beginning, there is some like going from vision to action, for which we needed to get information on the usage of VR in the Central Europe area. Then we would like to develop something. It's the VReduMED toolkit, and in the end, we need to prove that what we've done is done right, and it is useful for the target groups. And so we will demonstrate that in the pilot actions. So just a short overview of each work packages. I won't go into details like the codes of the deliverables, but within the first work package, we were doing mapping of competencies, which means who is using what in terms of virtual reality in our regions. We also identified good practices from our regions and created catalog out of them. It will be presented later. The very difficult point was reaching the target groups because we needed to get them involved in our activities like roundtables, innovation sessions, and so on. So that was also an important part of the first work package, which obviously started with the start of the project. Also, we needed to investigate the expectations of the target groups, what they would like to use the virtual reality for, and how can somehow match these expectations or this demand. And it's towards the end of the project we will create a roadmap for VR tech innovations, which will be sort of recommendations for the cluster policymakers, for the decision makers, on how the virtual reality can be implemented in different fields. So that's the work package 1. The work package 2, which deals more with practical part. Within this work package, a lot of practical work will be done. And it started with setting up the Care Education Forum, which is the online platform for meeting the MedTech companies and the caretaking sector. And this platform will also be a crucial part of the pilot assessment because the pilots will get the feedback through this Care Education Forum. So it will be also presented in details later, so I won't go into much detail now. Also within this work package, we need to specify and actually code in the end the VR-based education tools, basically applications. In the end of this work package, we would like to have 2 VR applications and ready to be tested, actually, because the testing is part of the next work package. But in this package, the applications will be developed. The assessment, well, within the process of the application development, there will be some assessment, like internal assessment, if everything is going according to the plan. So that's meant by the assessment here. And in the end, we will try to create a handbook for VR integration. And it should be more practical guideline for example, teachers or people that are working with virtual reality, how to actually use it, how to make it easier to operate the VR sets and so on. Within this work package, we also gathered even more information on what is the demand on virtual reality application, and it was done in form of innovation workshops and deeper interaction, let's say, with our stakeholder group. All of this actually led by our desire to create the application that actually the caretaking sector needs and is willing to use and is willing to test. So we would like to avoid that the situation where actually developing something that is not needed. So that's the main goal of this work package. And the work package 3 will be like the final part of the project. And we will specify and set up a VReduMED lab infrastructure. The VReduMED labs will be located in each partner organization. It will be interconnected, and the idea is that, for example, if there is a workshop in one of the VR labs, so the others can join to this session, let's say, using the VR headsets, and they can take active part in the workshop or whatever education course or whatever, and that they can actually interact distantly, because as you might see, the labs will be in 5 different countries. So that's actually the VReduMED lab, which was mentioned before. Also, for operating the lab, we need trainers, and they need to know what to do. So we've got the trainer program for the use of the toolkit and for the operation setting up the VR lab environment. Within this work package, we will also test the developed applications in pilot actions. The pilot actions will try to test and evaluate the applications from all angles, let's say. And as mentioned, part of this process will be the interaction through the Care Education Forum. And of course, in the end, we would like to let the world know that we actually developed VR applications. So of course, there is dissemination and user involvement, and in the end, topped or which graduate in the final conference in spring 2026. So that's the basic work plan of our project. I will get to that later. Also, part of the project is communication. It's a very important part because not only we want to let the world know what we are doing, what is it all about, but we also need to involve our stakeholders to get them interested in the project, to get them, for example, registered to the Care Education Forum to take part in the pilot testing. And our communications just to reach all our target groups. And we do it through the project website, through social media of the main ones listed here. Also, the communication leader also prepared layouts for our graphics, roll-ups, invitations, and so on. You can see some of the examples on the right. And part of it is also online magazine in a form of like blogs. So it's more, it's different form of communication than the social media, more like more informative, let's say, and just different format. And last but not least, it's the stakeholder event in which we actually personally meet our stakeholders and discuss with them. Yeah, okay. So what's the timeline of the project? That's what I wanted to mention before. So now, as I mentioned, the work package 1 is mostly over. I would say that there we mapped the situation of the virtual reality, what's the usage of it, what people expect from it, and what's their also like fears or yeah, on using it. So it actually ended in January 2004, so it's like half a year ago. Now we are gathering data on VR solution demand. That's what I mentioned. We would like to develop something that is actually demanded. The regional roundtables and innovation sessions were the main sources of information for what to develop, and it ends basically now. Tomorrow there is like the project session in which we will decide which VR applications we are going to develop. Later, till May 25, we will undergo the development of the solutions. We will create the guidelines, create the methodology for train the trainer. And after that, we will test it. And the testing of the applications will be shorter than February 26, because the project is actually ending in March 2026. So this is like the latest possible date for that. It will be like the trainers and so on. And it will all end with the final conference in March 2026 in České Budějovice and Czech Republic in South Bohemia. So that's our plan for the future, not near future, but for the next 2 years. Regarding the budget of the project, the overall budget is almost 2.2 million euro, and 80% is provided by European Union through Regional Development Fund, and it's being distributed by Interreg Central Europe program. And 20% is co-financed by the project partners. Many times the co-financing is also coming from public sources. And that's it. Thank you very much. This was just a short presentation of the project. I hope it provided you with a rough overview, and we will go into details, into specific activities later on. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, nice to see some of your faces that I already know from the project. Nice to see some new faces as well. My name is Martin from the University of Economics in Bratislava, Faculty of Business Management. And I'm here to tell you about the results of the initial survey that we did within the VReduMED project. Simplified said, we found the actors who are dealing with VR technology, and we wanted to know if they are using, why, and if they are not using, why. So let's get into it. This is the third time I'm having this presentation. First time it was in English. Then it was in Slovak in one of our roundtables. And now I was given 15 minutes for this, so it's going to be short. And it's going to be only the comparison. But for the comparison, you will need to know that in total we had 112 respondents. 58 answered the very first question, do you have experience with using virtual reality solutions in your typical activities, typical being the keyword here. They said yes, 54 said no, so we had something on the line of comparable. And if you're going to look at the group who said yes, for what purpose do you use the VR technology? The largest group, 39% of them said teaching, education, some sort of training. 18% said it's development. Here it would be the SMEs who are in the MedTech. They are creating the applications. And relaxation, rehabilitation. And the third largest group, these would be the medical organizations, hospitals, healthcare centers, and so on. The other groups are also represented. This was an open qualitative question, so we had to go through the answers and allocate them into one or more of these categories. Then we asked them, like, what are the advantages of using the VR technology? What do they see as the best part of it? Improves teaching, 69%, very far away ahead of the others, of the other options. Where it would be safety benefits, innovative, but let's focus on improved teaching. So within the project, we are in the right league, I would believe. What disadvantages would be the obvious question after that. Complexity, so we need to make VR more simple. We're gonna get back to that again multiple times, that VR is still seen as something hard to get into. Health issues, that's the most popular answer, still bears the negative side of not being able to use the VR headsets for the longer time. So something that we develop might probably be something that can be done within 15 to 30 minutes of training. And the cost category is an obvious one. Very often it would come down to money in the end. If we ask that virtual reality is used as, we can see I highlighted in red, only in 17% it was the main tool, like the main tool that the company organization would be like going for, like, yeah, VR is the main thing that we do. In 69% of cases, it would be just a supplementary tool, something that is somewhere on the side, but when the situation asks for it, yes, VR is there for this specific case. The other three options are that just to narrow it down what it is, because the respondent could click on multiple answers. So we're gonna go through the comparisons, and I'll buckle up your seats because there is gonna be a lot of numbers and options in the questions, but I highlighted for you the most important ones. In the first column, you can see the answers from the companies who have VR experience. In the second column, you can see the no VR experience, and then the third, an obvious one, is a delta between the two. So in the first two columns, you see that there is a nice match in the perception of risk training situations, explaining machines, and still kind of high in the list site visits, and healthcare with some advantage in the side of companies who have, or organizations that have VR experience. In the delta column, the VR collaboration is perceived more positively by the organization who already use the VR. This is the important factor to take from this. The higher optimism of the organizations that are already using it. If you see the numbers, they are always more optimistic, like, yeah, VR could be used. So once you give the VR headset to a company or organization and give them some time to try it out, they will in the end probably tell you, like, yeah, this is better than we expected, because the no experience column is the second one, and will seek further options or possibilities how to use the VR for their business, for their operation. The biggest challenges seen, the group with VR experience, insufficient knowledge about the possibilities. As I just said, we wish we would know more how to use this thing for making the best out of it. A lack of budget and cost of creation. The cost of creation is meant for the applications, for the whole infrastructure. The lack of budget is somewhere there, but meant only as a purchasing price. But I highlighted those only in yellow because the numbers are not above 60% of respondents, but the group with no VR experience, you can see that there is lack of budget and cost of creations above the 60. So if you do not have the VR experience, you are probably also very afraid of how much it costs. The lack of internal resources in the second column is also meaning we probably don't have people for that, or some other resource, or time, or something else. You can also see the negative red deltas in there. like, yeah, this is the things that we fear the most if we don't know something, like we don't have experience with the VR. We perceive VR as a technology that can improve the teaching learning process. Strongly agree. 69% of the group that agrees, 39% who disagrees, and also even the group who is not experienced agrees. So we have the positive point of view, even with the group that is not experienced yet. Yet is the important word here. In your opinion, can VR build skills and contribute to better learning processes in problem solving compared to other learning methods? Very similar result. The ones that are already used, absolutely yes. The ones who didn't try it yet or are not actively using it still would go with rather yes than saying no. Again, positive outcome. Where do you see the potential added value of VR learning scenarios? Those who have experience would say competence development, creative positive learning experience, experiencing and learning about places where I have not been to yet, so the virtual traveling, and imparting knowledge, passing on knowledge to other people. Those who do not have the VR experience are saying creatively positive learning experiences, experiencing places where I have not been, and imparting knowledge. There is a match, but you can again see that the numbers or percentages are higher for those who have experience compared to those who do not have. So confirms my speculation about if you have experience, you want to seek new adventures in virtual reality. There were also some specific questions for each of the groups, so let's go through that quickly. So those who do not have experience, what were the limitations? Of course, the first, finance is 28%. Not that high of a number, but highest of the possibilities. The training of the staff or the personnel that would be working with it is something that they are afraid of, and resources go kind of in line with that. The technical limitations of usage, the specifics of technical, hardware related, 0%, that's good, right? Software related, only 9%, that's also very nice, right? But we had the option of both hardware and software, and that is the 70%, so we need to work on that in the project. And if you do have, to end on a positive note, experience with usage of virtual reality, the implementation process of VR was rather simple or rather complicated. We are somewhere in the middle, going again to the complexity that we had in the beginning. So we need to work on that. Anything that we develop has to be very easy to get into. And does the use of VR in your organization increase over time? Strongly agree, 40%, agree, 52%. So VR is getting more and more attention and is getting into organizations, which is good. Conclusions, not gonna read it all. So the keywords, supplementary tool, position of supplementary technology is something that we also within the project see positively. It doesn't have to be the main tool. It's something for a specific situation, specific solution. Those who are experienced see it more optimistically. As I said before, active users seek new options. Not active users are afraid of financing, resources, or capacities. And if they are not using it or haven't been using it actively, are a bit anxious about it. To fill in the gap fits the purpose of the project. We want to simplify the dissemination of VR technology. We want to find more ways to have active usage in education and training. And we want to transition companies towards newer, cleaner, more sustainable, and not forget human-friendly technologies. Thank you for your time and attention.
So, good morning again. What Martin said actually nicely links to what I would like to show you now. The questionnaires actually provided great inputs, great results, and as Martin said, that there was a gap that is actually exploited by our project, that there is opportunity to actually create a VR application. And for that, we needed to know what are actually the needs of the sector, and on one hand, and on the other hand, we needed to know if the technology is ripe enough or is able to cope with the requirements of the caretaking sector. So, in order to find out, all of the partners or all of the project regions organized a regional roundtable event, which involved key stakeholders in the regions. If you remember the slide with the partners from the previous presentation, you probably noted that there is one country and two partners, which links too many of the activities within the project, because many of the things are done on the regional basis. So the two partners from each from the country actually cooperate on the project activity. And regional roundtables was one of these activities. So there were 5 of them in each of the project countries. And here I would like to show you some pictures, how it went, and some conclusion. Originally, I wanted to create conclusions for each roundtable. But after reading and going through the reports and talking with partners, we discovered that the conclusions were very similar to each other. So it's summed up in the end of the presentation. However, it was very positive result because actually all roundtables proved that there is some common challenges, demands, ideas on VR technology, and they do not differ that much between the regions. They are, yeah, as Martin mentioned, people are concerned in very similar issues and things. So let's have a look on the roundtables. Actually, the roundtables took place between January and March 2024 this year. And so let's have a look. In Czech Republic, the 2 Czech partners were involved, and it happened on 5th March 24. We had 36 participants, and in our case, or in all cases, but this is, well, we are part of this roundtable, we managed to get both, or not both, but all education sector, VR companies that are actually developing some kind of solutions, caretaker sector, so they are people from the actually in practice, and in our case we well just noted the application we use it. It was the cardiopulmonary resuscitation operating of the machinery in intensive care units, and also some communication skills. Yeah, from my, for example, from what I remember, one of the most popular in communication skills was, for example, the communication of fatal diagnosis to the patient or to their families, which is, I find, very interesting for the VR, but it actually works. So each roundtable was actually divided into 2 or 3 parts. It depends how we see it. The first part was the discussion among the stakeholders. Oh no, it was the other way around. I'm sorry. First, there was some kind of introduction, and then the stakeholders had the opportunity to actually try out the VR headsets with some of the applications I mentioned. And it was great that this happened before the actual roundtable, because a lot of people, for a lot of people, it was the first VR experience in their life. So they were like have fresh ideas and fresh impressions. And after the VR session ended, we moved back to our conference room and tried to actually get as much as possible regarding how they felt about the VR, what's the ideas, where to use it, what's the limitation, what are, for example, the scenarios which are not useful or not suitable for VR technology, and all this kind of information which helped us to actually develop the application or get the background data for developing the application. So Similar roundtable happened in Austria. It was organized by Edu Group and BizApp together on 30th January 24. And they gathered 21 participants from the care education field and VR experts. Again, the format was similar. So first there was some kind of introduction, then a VR session, and then the roundtable to get as much information as possible. In Germany, it was in Bavaria, because both our partners are Bavarian. And again, it was in March 24th, 21st March, with 25 participants. They managed to get teachers and educational institution managers to take part. Also the providers of virtual / augmented reality applications, and the students, which is also great because students, we experienced that in innovation session, can provide great feedback because they have like fresh minds, fresh ideas, innovative ideas, and while not all of them can be implemented, but they provide really fresh view on the VR technology usage. Yeah, you can see nice pictures there, and yeah. And in Hungary, it was again organized with by both Hungarian partners in coordination. On 22nd November, it was the first of our roundtables. They managed to gather 46 participants, which is quite a lot, and it was between doctors, nurses, and other caretaking personnel and tech sector. As you might see, it was a relatively large event, but still getting the information we needed. And also since it was the first one, it provided the rest of the partnership some ideas on how to organize our own roundtables. So let's. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We've got Slovakian again organized by both partners on 21st March. It was slightly different because it was online meeting, but still we managed, or Slovakian partners managed to gather the information we needed with, again, joining joining the care experts with VR developers and VR experts. So here we've got a picture from the online session, the presentation of what's available, and so on. So now it's the conclusion part, because as I said in the beginning, all of these points were somehow presented in all the reports of our roundtables, which is actually good for us because the region, I mean, like the Central Europe, is like somehow consistent on what they would like to see or have. As you well, the beginning is what I already said, but as what was confirmed by what Martin said was that for example, finances was one of the main obstacles. Not only finances for getting the technology, but also also keep it running, keep it updated, getting the latest applications for them. So that's all around the finance part of the whole thing. The thing that was mentioned by teachers and educational managers was that it's important to include VR technology into the school curricula, because if it's not there, it is always a sort of enthusiasm by teachers to actually introduce the technology to students. But once it's present in curricula, then it's part of the learning process, and then it gets like attention, it gets finances, and it gets support, for example, by the school managers, by the directors, and so on. One of the main, it's the last point, one of the main findings was, one of the main goals was to look for the applications or ideas for applications we would like to develop. We managed to gather these ideas. Yeah, I'm sorry, I skipped one point. We gathered these ideas, and they revolved around like a communication with the patient, which is rather difficult to translate into international environment because all text and visuals, audio tracks needs to be in all languages. So we are still considering this the suitability of these. Also, the dealing with the unexpected situations was cited many times. For example, I don't know, the cardiopulmonary stimulation was regarded as very useful because basically everyone should know it, but generally among the general public there is not much not knowledge, but like confidence to actually carry out the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. I think that there was a survey in Czech Republic about how many people would actually take initiative when someone is in need of cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and I think the result was only 14% of people from the whole survey actually answered that, yeah, they would start doing that, which is basically very low because to anyone it can of us can happen. So yeah, that was just another idea, and a lot more. Actually, currently we are in the process of gathering, aggregating these ideas, and tomorrow basically we will have to decide what applications we are going to develop. There are going to be 2 of them. So, yeah, that was a short overview of our roundtables. Thank you for attention.
Yes, thank you very much. Our USB team, University of South Bohemia, was responsible for the 2 main outputs of the project, which was mapping and the good practice later. My presentation is very short. I'll try to be very quick. Mapping was done by all partners, and we managed together into one application, which is, let's say, you can find it on our website, which is available through our website. The main goal of this activity was that we needed to know where and who are something with virtual reality in this health care sector. As used application, totally it was 200, we found, or we gathered 228 examples through the whole project area. Most, let's say, companies was mapped in Austria and Germany. You are bigger countries, right? And as you can see, here is the map. It's an interactive map, and you can find all the companies which somehow using this VR in a healthcare system. We mapped lots of organization. Mostly that was, I assume this, that mostly are the private companies, then college, let's say the universities, and of course hospital. There are main users of VR in this sector. That's quite predictable. And next, our other companies such as secondary or higher medical schools, and other organizations. The target groups are quite, let's say, equally distributed. Mainly are the general public, higher education, that corresponds with the Martin's findings from questionnaires that VR is used for education. Then third main or second main sector is hospital and medical care centers. In this mapping activity, these companies and hospitals have, of course, more target groups, not just the one. Some findings from this in this application, sorry. Of course, you can make filters for each country and find the right company for you. One more thing, sorry, I forgot one more thing. We also try to map to when they start using the VR, and you can see the 2000 is no mention about VR, so we put there 2000, right? But the main, let's say, boom in using VR was after or year 2018 till 2021, which a little bit correspond with, of course, one thing is maybe COVID thing, and make this technology, let's say, cheaper, maybe. Yeah. So this is the output, the main output of this mapping activity. In every point you can click and you can see the name, the official website, the type of organizations, and what is important. You can see the software, hardware solution, which was for this project the crucial thing to know what kind of hardware or software these companies are using. So let's say some, mapping cannot create some big conclusion, right? Wait a second. The main, let's say, conclusion is that we are infrastructure, the hardware, which is crucial for us. It's, let's say, usual as the worldwide trend. So most of organizations are using the Oculus headsets, Meta, and kind of things. And the second one, most common technology, the hardware, is HTC. So the main headsets on the market, which is good for us because we can create some application in the most common way using the most common technology or software as like Unity or Unreal software. And that's the second crucial thing, the, let's say, software infrastructure. We can say it's, according to mapping, it's like 50-50, mainly the private companies and universities using their, here's an example of Soma from Austria, but we can find same examples in Germany and Czech Republic. They are using their own solution for special purposes. So that's one part of the software infrastructure, let's say. The second one, most common, typically for elderly houses, for in hospitals, and sometimes in high schools, are third-party software. Here's an example of Google VR, because it's very popular, for example, in Czech Republic, to make a virtual trip for people who cannot walk or visit, I know, Japan or something, places like this. So for now, from my side, it's, let's say, very quick overview of this mapping activity. If you have some questions, I'm here for you. And thank you for your attention. And in a few minutes, I will show you the second slide of my presentation, which is about the good practices.
Now we start, let's say, a block which deals in more details with some of our activities. I deliberately call it outcomes, because both results, outputs, whatever, have their technical terms in Interreg Central Europe. So let's tell you more about some of the outcomes and in details. So, as I mentioned in one of the in previous presentation, we are about to set up a virtual reality lab. These labs are like physical spaces in each of the regions, and these labs should allow for a connection of the physical connection of the VR headsets, and also the application within to operate online among each other, for example, to provide like tutorials or teaching sessions where, for example, the teacher is in Czech Republic and the students are in Hungary, and they can interactively work in VR environment. And for that, we need the VR labs, and the VR labs also need some kind of minimal or some kind of configuration in order to work and to accommodate for these connections and for these connections. So yeah, well, that's what I actually said, because what I didn't said before, we need also the performance of the VR equipment to be smooth, seamless, because no one wants like a sketchy picture, especially in the VR environment. It can be really annoying, and so we had to say some requirements on what to buy, what to have, and how to set it. So there are some basic facts. For example, that we don't have to deal with the graphical hardware because it is already included in the headsets themselves. So there is no need to buy something special regarding the graphics in the virtual reality. Also, the connectivity of the VR headsets, it's usually easy because it communicates through Wi-Fi with other devices in the room, for example, with laptops, with projectors, screens, and so on. They usually need connection to the internet because they update on its own from time to time, and of course the connection to other VR labs and the collaboration, of course. The important point is that the more headsets you connect to the infrastructure, the more load they present. So you will see later why this point is there. And because we are talking about technology and the parameters of technology, there are like endless variants. And so we created two sets of recommendations. One is the minimum one that is really needed to run the VR laboratory. And the other one is the recommended, which also includes options for like more headsets to be connected and so on. The recommended and minimal recommendations are usually due to multiple users using the headsets at the same time. That's the most load that actually is presented to the network. Also, the sharing of the picture from the headsets is important, as we also see during our innovation sessions, that if you don't see what people actually see in their headsets, it's very difficult to guide them, to tell them whatever they are supposed to do, and so on. So sharing the VR scenes to external displays is, I would say, very important part of the whole process. So I wouldn't read the whole thing. You can see that the most widespread VR hardware are the MetaQuests. They are already available in version 3. For the minimum requirements, it's needed the version 2. We expect that our applications that we are going to develop will be compatible with the second generation of the MetaQuest headsets or its equivalents, because we cannot expect that everyone will have third generation by the end of the project or by the time the applications are ready. There are also some requirements on the wireless networks, and this minimum requirement actually allows for connecting two devices at full speed. And there are also some up and down parameters for the internet connection. And one point that cannot be omitted is the physical space in the room, because for the VR, basically for any VR application, you need some space for the people to move and to make the movement and whatever. So our minimum requirements is 2 by 2 meters, and which is really minimum, I would say. However, we also created the recommended requirements. They are like more focused on connecting more devices, because we expect that there will be more people connected to the VR headset in a laboratory. So we would like to have, for example, the Wi-Fi that supports at least 5 connected devices operating at full speed, and 200/50 megabits down and up connections, because it is needed, especially for the communication between the laboratories. And like 2 by 2 meters, but 3 times, because if we expect that, for example, there is a teacher and 3 students, so those three students would need the room 2 by 2 meters, but at the same time, and each of them needs like individual room. The additional equipment, as I mentioned, it is needed for like improving the experience. So there are specification of a laptop able to actually transmit the data stream from headsets. Also, among other things, is the projector or large size display to be actually able to see what's inside the headsets. And like tiny but important parts are, for example, the batteries for the handheld controllers that are not recharged. Usually they cannot be charged, so you have to replace them. Or power banks for charging the headsets. Extension cords if you want to charge your headsets, because you usually have more. That's like practical experience from innovation sessions that we fought a bit with the availability of the electrical outlets, and yeah, that's it. And so, what's the main conclusion of the whole specification of the labs? Is that we will test it during our pilot actions, during train-the-trainer sessions, which are scheduled or planned to happen online through the VR lab infrastructure. So the parameters may get like precised a bit, but still we think it will be enough as what I presented. So there will be quite a thorough complete testing of it. And but as I say, this specification is as of June 2024, like now. And so we cannot presume what's going to happen in 1 year time. Maybe it's going to change, but we don't expect like doubling the requirements for the lab specification. However, if we find another recommendation during our sessions, trainers or whatever, we will improve this recommendation list and like create a new version. And yeah. And also, for example, the VR sessions, we would like to have them recorded for references or for whatever. And we will also like include these software tools into the recommendations.
So, the second main task in this part of the project was good practices. The workflow was, we were starting from this kind of application, the mapping application. You know, I'm a geographer and I love maps and GIS, so I'm a little bit ill or sick about the map applications. So I create another one when we were, all of us picking up the best practices, the organization, the companies that we think that are really good practices in this field of VR and health shared care. So the application was simple, is still working. You can pick up the one thing and write down the reasons. Why do you think it's an example of good practice? Some story behind, let's say more insight of how are they using VR, so we can learn from them. What are they using? How are they using? How long are they using? What kind of platform? And of course some photos and etc. Then we collect 20. Sorry, I marked somewhere 25 companies from whole project area from all countries, and create, thanks again to Inoshka, to Nora and Martin, to create this wonderful super cool kind of a presentation, which will be, I think, able during the coffee break, where you can see the best practices. We put them into the same look presentation. A little bit we had to let's say manage the text, because in some cases there were the text too long, so we a little bit shortened this text and to look similar in this way. And here are the best good practices in VR and health care system. Some, let's say, conclusions from good practice. You cannot have some big conclusions, right? But few things we can learn from these good practices. What is the key here is that these companies are using VR regularly, like every week, every day, every month, not just one in the year. They are using it regularly, and they are using it between 2 or 3 years in a row. And mainly these companies are using it for, which again corresponds with the Martin's findings from questionnaires. They are using it for education, but the education not just for students' education, like on the high schools and universities, but also for employees, which is, I think, crucial for employees in elderly houses, how to work with disabled people, or in hospitals, how to manage some equipment. Yeah, education in general. And what is important, I think, education also for a general public, which are using these mainly high schools for general public, how to, I don't know, manage something in the way which I don't understand because I'm a geographer, right? Maps and everything, not the healthcare. The second thing, in these cases of education, it's, let's say, 100% some own solutions created by the hospitals or these organizations themselves, or it's a solution created by a third-party company. I know, for example, the VR Lab from České Budějovice, which is tailored to the needs of organizations. The second thing, here you can see a picture of care center in Třebíč, where mainly we are used for therapy things, therapy for mainly the elderly, and for reconvalescence after some operation with some moves or kind of therapy, relaxation things. So this is our good practices we found that we think are really good examples or how to use VR in healthcare, education system, whatever, right? Thanks again for your attention. And that's all, I think, from my side. Enjoy the coffee.
Hello and welcome back to the midterm event of VReduMED here in Győr. Hello to all the participants in YouTube and hello to everyone here in Győr. My name is Tamas Wolfinger. I am a project manager of the medical technology cluster in Upper Austria, of the business Upper Austria. And I'm going to talk a few minutes about the open innovation sessions that already took place in the last weeks and month. And maybe to start off and to differentiate from the topics that we have heard before, this is an ongoing activity. So there will not be final results. This is a status quo. And I'm trying to give you insights into the workshops that we did so far. And I'm going to give you insights on how we are going to process these workshops. This is part of work package 1 and part of activity 1.4. and is mainly handling the innovation sessions and the road mapping part of the work package. So why are we doing those open innovation sessions, those design thinking sessions? We want to develop a roadmap that is containing transnational recommendations for cluster policies. So it is meant for cluster networks, business networks that are in the topic of VR in the medical sector, in the care sector, and that contains VR-related MedTech innovation. So how do we get innovation, and how can we support the collaboration between VR companies and the technical side and the medical side of the stakeholders. And to be able to develop such a roadmap, we need experience, and we need to go to the stakeholders group and see what are the main needs of these groups, and how can we bring them into collaboration, into working with each other. And to ensure that, we did open innovation sessions to assess the potential of VR in care, and to get ideas on what solutions do MedTech or do care experts expect from VR solutions in the care sector. And based on these acknowledgements and findings, we are going to prepare a roadmap as a smaller strategic paper that is like dedicated to a certain group of our stakeholders. And we wanted to do at least 2 open innovation sessions per region. So we are 5 partner regions, which concludes into 10 innovation sessions that we have committed to do. And the most important parts were to get the companies in VR and in MedTech in contact with the care experts. This first happened at the roundtables, but which Matouš already mentioned before. But in the course of the open innovation sessions, this is a much deeper collaboration and a much deeper working together of those 2 groups. And in the same course, we wanted to gather ideas for innovative projects. So we wanted to gather ideas for our VReduMED prototypes, and also to ensure sustainable solutions. We wanted to gather as much information and as much ideas as we could from the target groups. And why am I standing here? Because Business Upper Austria was suggesting workshop ideas or blueprints for workshops, and every partner region was able to choose fitting formats for themselves, which they think that suits best for their stakeholders and for their regions. And I prepared a little timeline so you can get a glimpse of how we conducted this. We started by a short world cafe in the steering committee meeting 1 with all the partners, where we assessed what are the experiences with open innovations among the partners, and who has got experience with which methods or with which workshop settings. We did this. Then we decided on some workshop concepts that we extracted in SC1 and presented it in the steering committee meeting 2, also did this. And then we suggested a final concept in March. Based on this, all the open innovation sessions took place. And now from April to June, every partner conducted 2 workshops in each region. This was still ongoing and is now officially finished as we've got all 10 workshops done. And in July, so right now, we are processing the outcomes and gathering the outcomes of each partner. We prepared kind of output documentation templates that every partner can fill out. So we as Business Upper Austria have a kind of easier time processing all the outcomes. This is now ongoing. And as I mentioned before, when we finished all this processing of the workshops in July, we're going to start preparing, on the one hand, an output document on the workshops. So what went well, what didn't go so well, which ideas did we gather, and what acknowledgements did we get. And on the other hand, we are starting with the roadmap. And in the first steps, we want to see what should the layout of such a roadmap document be, and how can the findings of those workshops be implemented into such a roadmap. So this is ongoing. To give you a little bit of picture support, we prepared a few slides per region to show you how those innovation sessions looked like. In Regensburg with the OTH and the tech base, this was on the 21st of March and then the 24th of June. In South Bohemia, it was in Tabor on the 4th of June, and in Budweis on the 26th of June. In Hungary, it was in Budapest and in Győr on the 28th of May and the 26th of June. In Slovakia, it was on the 28th of June and on the 4th of July. And one of those was online, so we've also got a little experience in how can we do like an online sessions with our stakeholders. And in Upper Austria, we did our workshops on the 14th and the 15th of May. And I want to go a little bit deeper into the Upper Austrian workshops as we did those. As for the participants, we had on the one hand the technical expertise of VR developers, and on the other hand the expertise of hospitals and healthcare facilities, care education schools. We had a MedTech company network and seniors care institutions. So we tried to get a very broad piece of our stakeholders. And the first workshop was half a day, and the second was one full day workshop. And I'm going to go a little bit into the agenda because we started with a presentation of the best practice cases that we have got so far, so that all the participants that are conducting the workshop have an idea on what is already on the market and what can be done right now, and what is already done right now. And after that, we did a hands-on session, as I think a lot of partners also did in the round tables and also did in their innovation sessions, to make sure that all the stakeholders that do not come from the technical perspective have had hands-on this new technology, because it's very important that all the participants of such a workshop know how it feels to be in virtual reality and how it feels to interact in the virtual space. And after that, we did our ideation workshop. We chose some of the methods that we proposed and filled one whole day with it. And in the end, we were prototyping our ideas with a Lego prototype. So we could get the stakeholders in a little bit of a more fun way of interaction and of prototyping. And now to the preliminary outcomes, preliminary because we are now in the phase of processing all the outcomes. But what we've got so far is that we have got all workshops done by now. So thank you to all the partners for conducting it in exactly the right amount of time. And we had 158 participants, so close to 160 participants from a lot of different stakeholder groups. So this also ensures that our ideas come from a very diverse space of stakeholders. And what is also quite awesome, I would say, is that we have got quite an equal diversification of people with VR experience and people without experience. So it really made sense to give a hands-on session because 50% of the participants did never have an VR lens on their head. And it also ensures that the ideas that came up came from a very diverse, experienced group. And yeah, the attending experiences, I just wrote a few, was VR developers, care education experts, representative of hospitals and big hospital organizations. So we were quite broad over there as well. And one of the most impressive numbers is that we gathered close to or a little bit more than 30 ideas for our VReduMED prototype, which we will discuss internally because we don't want to give all of that out right now in the consortium in the steering committee meeting 3, and I'm really looking forward to share these ideas with you. And yeah, what are the next steps and what will we do with all these outcomes that we've gathered? We are going to implement a roadmap, as I said, and we will prepare the gathered ideas in the course of our VReduMED prototype, as I said as well. And what is the next upcoming month going to be in this activity? Yeah, mainly we are now preparing the roadmap layout, and in March 25, as you can see on the right side, we are going to have our final document ready for delivery. So between August and March, we are working very closely together with all the partners to ensure that the roadmap is ready in time. Thank you. This was it from my side. And I think I'm going to give the word to Education Group and to Astrid Leeb. Thank you.
Hello and a warm welcome also from my side. My name is Astrid Leeb. I'm coming from Education Group. And Education Group is one of the partners in the consortium looking for education in this project. So our focus is to bring this technology and also this educational part, didactical part, methodology things into the project. And well, we are looking now at the Care Education Forum. The Care Education Forum is a forum picking out these experts we connect and we share experiences with in the project and give them a place for their expertise, for their thoughts, for their needs in care education. And this is the practitioners of care education. We want to connect them with us through the Care Education Forum. We want them to bring their expertise in our project, and we want also to put them in a connection with each other, because they often have the feeling that they are somehow not so connected with each other, and they are fighting and fighting within their institutions. Yeah? But what we already found out, that in every country within this project, we are facing the same challenges in care education and in care in generally. Yeah? And this is important to have these things also in our minds when we think about piloting, when we think about training, when we think about the further outcomes of our project. So this is a place for the practitioners to be in this project. This is also a place for them to share ideas, to bring in their expertise and to discuss with technicians, but without barriers and also with some guidelines from us so that they step up and feel free to speak what their thoughts and what their issues are. And of course, they will be, the members of this Care Education Forum will be the ones also to look at our prototypes and help us testing these prototypes and these pilot applications. So they are very important for us, and this is why we pick them out and say, welcome to our Care Education Forum. So my presentation is a little bit different, as I'm somehow, announcing and speaking up for maybe somebody out there wanting to join us. What do they get when they come to the Care Education Forum? Well, the Care Education Forum is for care educators, and they have within this Care Education Forum access to our experts network. This is important for them as they don't have much expertise with VR by now, but they have questions about how to use VR, what to buy, what is important when implementing that. So they are interested to be in this network and to get connections to the experts and to ask questions. And we already experienced their questions and their interests within the roundtables, within the workshops, but also within other networking events we will have throughout our projects. So they will be invited for these things to come. And of course, they can also be in the next things will be the Train the Trainer program. This is also a very, very important thing for them to join this program and to be trained on these things, because they want to know how to deal with the technology. Yeah. And very, very important for them is these practical tips from the experts and all these examples for VR. Yeah? Within every workshop and with every roundtable we had, it was always the discussion in the coffee break and afterwards that they said, what is this example? What is this and what is that an application? Where can I get that? Yeah? What do I need? Which classes do we need for that? Which space does that need? They really want to have these practical tips and also these good examples. Yeah. This is why our project is so important for them, because there is not a space where all this information is put. And it is simple formulated for these people, as they are not the technical experts. And of course, they want to try out the things. As you already saw, we had the roundtables where the people tried out. We also had the ideation workshops where the people tried out. And it was always very, very interesting for them to try out. And they want to try out these things. And they will do that within the pilots and and will also test the prototypes. On the other hand, we want to learn from them. So it is not a thing that they only benefit, but also we want to benefit from them. What we want to learn is we want to have information on the care education system within the countries, within the project, to see what do we have similar and what do we do different, and what are the things that we have to care about when we think about implementing technology in this care education system. And of course, they have challenges in care education and in care in general. And this we have to take in account. For example, they have a lack of personnel in all the countries. Yeah? They have many different people coming to care education and different types of training because of this lack of personal resources within these things. Yeah. And we have to bring these things together and also to show them that they are not in one country, it is different to another country. No, it is very similar in all these countries. Yeah. And of course, we have to think about, when we think about these VR trainings, when we think about implementing and developing pilots, we should meet their needs. And their needs are really the things they are facing day by day. And of course, it is important to discuss with them the requirements for helpful VR applications. For example, a teacher of the Care Education Forum already said to me, VR is a nice thing, yeah, but we need applications that really make sense and give more to our pedagogy. Yeah. There must be some add-on, there must be some plus because of the use of this application. Otherwise, it makes no sense. If it's just content that is already there, only presented in a nice and funny way, then we don't need it because we don't have the time for that. Yeah. It must be some add-on that is provided via the VR application. This is very important for them. Yeah. And of course, they all said we need to have some didactic concepts for this implementation. We need to have some ideas and some didactic concepts to have it in a sensible way implemented in our teaching. Yeah. I understand that fully because I'm also a teacher, and without concept and without any idea how to be implemented in the day-by-day teaching, then it makes no sense bringing technology just for fun. Yeah, this is not possible. And we also have to face the things about a financial pressure they have, yeah? Because they cannot buy glasses for a whole class. Yeah? They have to deal with that there is some pair of glasses, maybe some 3 sets, but how do they deal? They don't have a class with three students. They have 15 or 20 or even more. How is a system, how can be didactical systems to have bigger groups, but also sensible use of classes and sensible use of good applications? So this is also what we have to think about when developing those ideas for them. And of course, what is also important for them, they want to have some summary, and they want to have it classically in a book. So this is why our outcome, one of our major outcomes is the VReduMED handbook, real handbook where we all sum up these things. The conclusions of the forum will be in this handbook, so we sum up how the care education system is in the different countries. We will compare that. We will also have these needs, and we will also have their ideas within these forum to be summarized up in these things. We will also have the assessments from the pilot actions will be in the handbook, so it will be filled up there. And these educational concepts and recommendations for the integration in the regional care education systems will be in that handbook. But also it will be one handbook, of course, for the whole project and for the whole area within these projects, within this region we will have. And of course, we will also bring in the good practice examples, as they really, really love to have them also in these cases. But we will look at these good practice examples with the eyes of the educators, also to give them some tips and some didactical input how to use these good practice examples for their teaching. So this is what the Care Education Forum is about, and what the handbook will be about. And last thing is, well, come and join us. So on the website you have join us, and we would really like you to come and to be with us in the Care Education Forum if you are a care educator and interested in this. Thank you.
So, hello, it's me again, and I will tell you a few words about the application we are going to develop. You might ask what I'm going to present when I said about an hour ago that we are still about to decide which applications, there are two, we are going to develop. That's right, that's still valid, I haven't lied to you, but before we actually start developing the application, we need to know certain parameters which it should follow, it should fulfill, because we don't only create content, and as for example Astrid mentioned, that it needs to have an additional value for the educators, for the teachers, not just having like fun with VR, which is a fact, but we need to do it in somehow systematic way. So we somehow summed up the technical parameters, or technical, well, you will see, parameters of the application to be developed and to be hopefully successfully used by our stakeholders and our beta testers, let's say. So we've got several points to consider. First is the time frame. We've got about a year to develop the application, so it sets the time frame of the whole thing, and we cannot go beyond the deadline by much, by 2 months or something like that. We also have to take into account that we are in the multilingual environment. There are 10 partners, 5 regions, thus 5 languages to be included into the application. Also, we have to make sure that the applications are working with our VReduMED laboratories, that they can be tested there, and so the parameters should be somehow coordinated between the application and the lab specification. The next point is the different national legislation. Maybe not the legislation as a law, but still there are different systems, different customs way how things are getting done in different regions, and this needs to be also represented in the application. We cannot create application according, for example, to Czech system, because it wouldn't work in Hungary, because they can't do something what we do, and so these things must be taken into account. But last but not least is the limited budget, so we still have to be within certain budgetary borders, limits, let's say. So, as mentioned many times already today, there were multiple resources we used for the specification of the application to be developed. And it was the research and experience of the partners and the stakeholders themselves, coming from the past or gained already in the process. The hands-on sessions were just great opportunities to learn what the stakeholders accept, what they would like to see. or they wouldn't like to see in virtual reality. So that was great source information, as well as roundtables and innovation sessions, as said many times before, and also the experts from caretaking and software sectors, because of course during the roundtables and sessions there were networking places, coffee breaks, so we all were discussing lively the situation, and yeah, learned a lot. So what we learned. Compatibility is clear. Actually, the application to be developed needs to run to whole plethora of headsets, of technology. So that's important. So it's compatible with basically all technologies available. Well, we can't say all, like 100%, but still the prevailing technology should be covered. Also, the applications should be sustainable, not only from the point of the project program rules view, but it should be sustainable also, like technically. We are well aware that the sector is evolving quickly, so of course the application will be probably obsolete by a year, by two, but it's actually unavoidable in these fast evolving sectors. But still, we would like to make the application so it can be used even after 5 years of time. Maybe it's technically obsolete, but still the parameters, the processes that are in the applications should stay valid. It should be also translatable into at least 5 languages plus English. So, as I mentioned, for example, with the communication VR applications, there are certain challenges regarding the translation which we have to tackle and to consider during the development. Also, it should be verifiable, so the things that actually happen in the VR can be assessed by someone else. That was the reason I mentioned the broadcasting to the outer screens or streams or whatever. So someone can say, oh, this is like not intentioned way you do it, this is, yeah, simply it should be like reviewable by someone else. It should be also user-friendly and easy to acquire, easy to learn. Astrid mentioned that in her presentation, that actually we would like to create an application that will show the stakeholders that the VR can be used. So we should avoid like elaborated application, technically right, may be the top of everything, but still we need the stakeholders to get used to it, get familiar to it, and it needs to be like easily learnable, let's say. And it should also have measurable results, because we are talking about education of caretakers. So there must be some observable parameters. I don't know, time, for example, how much time something took, or I don't know, some point scores, whatever. Definitely we need some kind of comparison between like several students or several sessions or across time, whatever, but there needs to be some measurable parameters. Yeah, as I said, the applications should follow the above criteria, and also to allow for subsequent activities which will thoroughly test the applications. For example, in the pilots, we expect that we will put like extreme pressure on the applications, and we will see how they like stand still with a lot of testing. Yeah, and what I said before, it should be somehow easy to acquire, so we show that it's like a viable way to work with the VR, not to deter people. Oh no, this is like too difficult to adopt. So that's it. That was short. And so from tomorrow on till next year, we will have to create the application and follow the parameters we set to ourselves. So thank you very much. And I'm not leaving the stage because I will have the last presentation of this morning. Thank you. And probably you would like to know what's next. In the previous presentation, we already got some time frames, what's going to happen. Now I will present just the overall project overview, what's going to happen in next 2 years. Generally, there are several big tasks. It's the application development itself. It will be, I think, quite a technical challenge to successfully conclude the applications. Also, we need to train the VR lab trainers so we can actually spread our application to the labs and to our stakeholders. We need to promote the pilot evaluation at Care Education Forum, so we have enough testers of the pilot evaluation. The more testers, the better results or more detailed results we get. And as mentioned also before, to create guidelines in form of the roadmap and handbook on how to operate the VR lab. So just quickly through the activities themselves. So for the application, we need the decision of our partnership, what we are going to code, then create a design prototype and scenario definitions, what's going to happen in the VR world. And then we will create content, I mean that we'll enlarge and complete the whole thing. So like, for example, the environment is completely ready. And in the end, as probably expected, we will test it and fix the bugs we find. We will also need to evaluate these applications because we will create them and someone should say, okay, this is what we want to have. As mentioned like 100 times before, Care Education Forum will play the crucial role in this. We need to get the evaluators for the assessment of the pilots. And also we need to create the evaluation interface so it is easy for the testers to actually provide feedback to us. They also need to get instructions on how to carry out the assessment, the evaluation, and getting feedback and implementing the feedback back, which is like the last point is the same, that the developers will get the feedback from the testers and incorporate it into the applications. The next is the train the trainer sessions that should train the trainers for the VR labs, and so we need to prepare the methodology on how to train the trainers. It should happen in each region, and after that it will implement the sessions of the training itself, and also online webinars are planned so we can enlarge the trainers also to those that cannot come. Or, for example, from the countries that are not part of the project but still can somehow see what's going on or like get involved. And and the trainers also should be ready for the deployment of our apps. The trainer will happen before the apps are finished, so it will be like the follow-up activity. The stakeholder involvement is like the project-long activity. We are involving our stakeholders right from the beginning of the project, but regarding the forthcoming months, it will focus more on the application development, on the Care Education Forum registration and like involvement. Also, we need to reach the trainees for trainer sessions, informing, promotion, and also, for example, create the promotional materials from the labs so people can see practically what it means to have the VR lab. Also, as mentioned before, the roadmap, we already saw some more details, so I won't comment more on that. I think it was said by Tamas. Perfectly, the handbook was perfectly presented by Astrid. So yeah, that's the handbook we will also create for the practical use for the our results, while the roadmap will be more like general for policymakers, decision makers, cluster policies. So the handbook should be more practical. Regarding the timeline, we all like timelines. Currently we are starting the developing of the application. Then till December 20 of this year, we should train the trainers with the labs. Then we should have the roadmap for the integration of the virtual reality systems into. Yeah. And the application will undergo the continuous evaluation right till the end of the project. But yeah, these are the deadlines. The official deadline is March 26, but yeah, the evaluation won't go like till the last day of the project, because then we wouldn't have any time to process the findings, but still, actually, the applications will get tested throughout the rest of the project till almost till the end. And in March 26, our project officially finishes. By then, we should have the practical handbook and the final application to be presented. We expect that we present the application at the final conference, which will happen in probably February 2026 in South Bohemia. So that's our plan for the forthcoming 2 years, forthcoming months. You can see that there is a lot work to do, but we are a great partnership of skilled and experienced partners, so I'm pretty sure we'll make it and we'll be successful in our effort. So thank you very much for your attention. So.
Okay, as this was our last presentation, on behalf of the host, I would like to thank you all for your attention here in person and online before displays. This sums up our midterm event and our online session. If you heard or saw something that interests you online, please find us on our website VReduMED.eu. Check out the materials, and if you missed some of the presentations, or if you missed the beginning of the event, this whole presentation and this whole online stream will be available on the official VReduMED YouTube later. So check out our website and check out our YouTube channel. I would like to thank all the presenters for their very insightful presentations and for keeping the time frame that we agreed on the agenda. So I hope that everyone enjoyed our session. Please keep in touch and reach out for us. Thank you for the attention and have a nice day. Bye-bye.